if they were actually doing that stuff, which is, asinine in that own self.
Right.
But you guys were famous here before. Now you guys are worldwide, international, blew up. What's it been like? And give us the pluses and the negatives of the meteoric rise.
The negatives is I lost my anonymity, so I can no longer just walk around in public unguarded or without my brother, or not because I'm necessarily in any danger, just because it's annoying. It's annoying, and a lot of people with this age of social media and everyone trying to chase clout has changed people to become a lot less respectful. Fan of, hey, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? Click. Yeah. And one time this happened, I was like, yeah, cool, nice to meet you. And by the time I was holding my hand out, he was walking off with his phone in his hand. He's like, no interest. People are so disrespectful. In fact, what's actually funny and super ironic is the one place where I can walk around and not really be bothered and no one talk to me and no one try to annoy me is Romania, because this is where people know that I live. They also know not to fuck with me, and they've known who I am for a very long time. Right. And also, the Romanian people don't work that way. If someone's rich or important or well known here in Romania, people don't fucking swarm him and start trying to shake his hand and ask him for photos. That's just not the way it works over here. So here my life is continue as normal. So I've lost my anonymity. But also, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of awesome, cool people. Me and you have been friends before. I really blew up, but like hanging out with Dan the other week. Awesome. Patrick Bet David, very cool guy. I met him in Spain. The opportunities that are arising from getting to know other high level people who are now aware of me. It's not that I've necessarily raised my value to the point where they're taking me seriously. It's just I'm now on their radar. Yeah. That has to be the biggest advantage. Women, I've always had women. I've always had women, so that's not an advantage at all. I mean, nothing has changed women-wise. I've always had wonderful women around me, and a lot of the women who were at my table last night, I've known for years.
And you've had the supercars for how long again, Tristan?
I bought my first ever supercar was way before I even started in the webcam game. Me and my brother bought a $60,000 Aston Martin back when I was 23.
Sheesh.
And Andrew was 24. Wow. We were running a company that made television advertising. We were partners in a company. We pulled off a very, very big deal. We pulled our money together and we bought our first supercar at a very young age. And I don't think Instagram was even invented back then. This is 11 years ago now.
Yeah. Tristan, you took enough in some of your cars. What is your favorite car and why?
My favorite car is my Aston Martin Vanquish S Ultimate. It is one of my slowest cars. It's the one I took you out on the other day. I love the way it sounds. I love the way it feels. I love how comfortable it is. I love that I feel like James Bond when I drive it. And people are like, oh, you think you're James Bond driving your Aston? It's like, listen, I wear Savile Row tailored suits. I can get any woman I please. I could drink like a fucking machine. I could shoot. I could fight. And I drive an Aston. I am James Bond. Fuck you. How am I not like James Bond? Oh, I think he's James Bond. Go fuck yourself. I am James Bond. So, but not the new one. Not the new one. The James Bond from the books, not the movies. Fuck the movies. They've all gone soy now.
It's changed.
Yeah.
Tristan, tell the people 2 or 3 things that they may or may not know about you that the public doesn't know that you would be okay with sharing.
Jesus, caught me off guard. One thing you've noticed, even since being here, is I have a a hugely vast knowledge and interest of history, world politics. I mean, I'm a very worldly person. I speak Polish quite well. My Slovak is quite good. My Romanian is, I not as good as it should be because I live in this country, but I don't like to speak it in public. I'm a very knowledgeable person. I love learning about things. When I drive around, I listen to audiobooks. I don't, physical books kill too much time. I listen to audiobooks when I drive around. Exactly. And I'm a massive history nerd, and I love everything about history. So if you start talking to me about fucking the Roman Empire, Napoleon, and World War II, I'll go on for hours and hours and hours. I find that immensely interesting. I guess that's one thing people don't know about me. What else do people not know about me?
You have a very strong grasp on geopolitics as well.
Yeah.
You had some very...
But I don't like to discuss those things on podcasts, so people don't know it. They never see that side of me. We were talking about some recent conflicts going on in the world. And I mean, you especially, I'm sorry to shit on anyone as an American, to know all the stuff you did. But even when you're talking to me about your country, and I was like, South Sudan, I know the separation of South Sudan and North Sudan, how they're racially different, etc. And you were like, very few people just know.
I was shocked.
Very few people know.
I was really shocked.
Like I was saying about the Iranian earlier, but I think of their people, and they retained their language after the Islamic kingdoms, that took most of the Middle East. I just know things, and I find it very interesting, and I believe it makes you a more interesting person to know things. So I don't do it to show off, and I don't do it to try to look smart. I think I am smart, and I just really find it interesting myself. I learn these things from me.
I just want to add to that point as well. Another trait that you may not want to share is that you're likable, which means you know how to play the room, you know how to be yourself, and at the same time, to add value to people that are around you, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people think that myself and my brother are scarier than we are. We're certainly scary if you say the wrong thing to us or if you fuck with us in any way. But a lot of people are very nervous meeting us for the first time because they think I'm going to be hostile or in some way. No, I'm always nice to everybody. Things people don't know about me.
I will add this though for the geopolitics. We're having a pretty deep discussion on this, and I want to say this real quick because I don't think people understand this. We've done a segment on our show where we ask girls, "Hey, name other countries outside the United States," and girls say stupid shit like Cancun, Hawaii, whatever, and it really brought things into perspective. And these are college-educated women, which is the scary part. That a lot of Americans, I'm just gonna say it, are fucking stupid. A lot of them are fucking stupid. And me and you were having discussions on some very controversial topics on conflicts going on, and it was crazy how a lot of Americans don't know this stuff.
They have no idea.
Most Americans don't even have a passport or travel or understand what's going on or don't know. They don't go to alternative media sources to get their news. They watch CNN and Fox, and they think fuck Russia and all this other stuff, which we won't get into that in today's topic.
Yeah.
But all I'm going to say is you need to peel the layers back a little bit and do some analyzing. Most Americans are grossly unaware of what the hell is really going on in the world.
Yeah, and I played the joke. There was a Romanian girl in my house, who and English is her fourth language. I said, name 3 countries. I think she said Finland, Ireland, and Turkey.
Yeah.
I said, why those? Those are the first 3 that came to my head.
Yeah.
And people, what's funny is the Americans have this arrogance where they think their educational system is so fucking good. Oh, I have a university education and I'm an American. And like Romanians know a lot more than a lot of university educated Americans. So yeah, it is very arrogant on the American.
And for the haters out there that might say this guy just hates Americans, blah blah blah.
I don't.
You are.
I am an American. Yeah, so I'm allowed to talk shit about my own country. And that's why I love talking shit about issues where people can't come at me and say that I'm just discriminating against anybody. So
because you were born in the United States.
Yeah.
Real quick, can you tell us about the impact? We hear all the time about your father's impact on Andrew.
Yeah.
Can we talk about your father's impact on you?
It will be exactly the same stuff. He was a very unique man, and he was a very unique individual, and he was a father by being an example. I believe that I could be a good father to 10,000 sons, and women will look at me like, "You 10,000 sons, you couldn't be a great father." I'd be like, "Yes, I could," because they would all know who I am, they would all know what I'm up to, and I'd be a shining example for them for how to be a man. I wouldn't necessarily have to change diapers. I wouldn't necessarily have to be at the dinner table, but they would know, yeah, my dad is out there doing his shit, and my dad is the fucking man, and one day I want to be like my dad. So yeah, being a hero to your sons is, I think, a lot more important than just being present in their lives. I think, the modern day wants men at home literally changing diapers. Guess how many diapers I've changed in my life? My daughter's almost 2. Zero. Yeah, you guessed it. That's not my job. My job is to make sure there's a roof over the head, roof over everyone's head, make sure there's food on the table, make sure that I'm out there living as an example to my children. So my father was the same. My father was that kind of guy, and yeah, I couldn't have wished for anyone better in my life.
And former chess master, I can see where the high IQ comes from. You and your brother. You guys are very experienced, interesting people that are able to, and it gets me mad because I watch the interviews with your brother, and he has to preface his comments sometimes when he uses an analogy with "don't get triggered," which in itself shows the crazy state of affairs that we're in.
Yes, I know.
Where I have to tell you a fact. You don't like the fact, then I have to give you an analogy. Before I give you the analogy to preface that fact, I have to warn you to not get triggered. He did this on the what's that podcast with the fucking Barstool Sports?
Yeah, with that guy,
Portnoy, whatever his name is,
Dave Portnoy,
and he used the car analogy with women and everything else like that. And he prefaced it, and they still got angry.
I know.
And this goes to show the ridiculous world that we're in. And it comes back to chess. People don't understand that you have to make a move.
Yeah.
Is it the best move?
Yeah.
No. But that move typically is going to have to be based and rooted in logic to some degree.
Yes, exactly.
Or else you will lose.
Exactly. I think one of the things he was saying about, teaching what young women that, there are bad people out there and that crime exists. And no matter how much we say don't steal, people are still going to steal. So there's nothing wrong with saying to my daughter, his niece, don't walk around at night. Is a much healthier attitude than saying, don't worry, men are the problem. You should be able to walk around naked as much as you like. And if men does something to you, they're wrong.
Stupid.
Yeah, that's true, but that's not the nature of the world. So let's prepare people properly and not live in this fucking fantasy land. And then that was twisted into, he said that women are responsible if they get assaulted or attacked. No, that's not what was said. So yeah, the world has gone insane, and you have to warn people not to be triggered before speaking just facts.
As a trained fighter,